love we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough and it seems like your best ain't good enough, if you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here, right here. And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for
you. This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening and viewing friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are tuning into the classroom for the first time, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. I've said that for so many years. For so many years, I've said that it is time. It is time. But for many, that time has not come. And that's okay. That's okay if your time has not come yet, but your time is coming. Maybe it's today. Well, as you know, the I Am the Solution weekend workshop, virtual weekend workshop of the continuing education of the spirit and soul is March 17th through the 19th. I'm excited because we have a new speaker that is going to be sharing, which is Carol Howe. She is like an incredible person. I'm just really excited about that. And we talk about the I am the solution. People have said to me, oh, that's so arrogant that you are the solution. Well, no. The I am is the God in us. And then we're called to pick up our mat and walk. We're called to pick up our, if you are a Christian and you know the story of the paralytic man who sat by the side of the pool, waiting for the bubbles to come up so that the first one that would jump in, that was what they thought, the first person to jump in after the bubbles would be healed. Well, this person waited and waited and waited. And when Jesus saw him, Jesus knew exactly everything that this person has gone through, what he wanted, what he didn't want, blah, 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 all those things that God is able to see right through us. God could have healed them on the spot. But at that time, Jesus approached the man and asked the question, what do you want? Do you want to be healed? Oh, but there were so many reasons why. By the time I got there, somebody else had jumped in. God could have thrown him in the water. God could have said, you're saved, you're healed. Whatever, Jesus could have said all that. Instead, he asks the question, and that is the same question that we're asked today. What do you want? Do you want to be healed? And he said, yes. Now, at that time, he could have gone, healed. There's so many opportunities that Jesus could have said, you're healed, you're healed, you're healed. He had done it before. Why didn't he do it this time? But this time, after the paralytic man said, yes, I want to be healed, then Jesus said, then pick up your mat and walk. So what does that mean, picking up your mat and walk? It means you got to do your part. You got to do your share. You got to do more than just wait for that opportunity. You get to act upon it. And today, of all days, of the days that you're watching, today is the day that I want to talk to you about how to become the solution. So the I Am the Solution Weekend Workshop, I'll tell you a little bit about that first. So basically, it's a 3-day weekend. Now, people tell me I'm crazy to do this weekend, and maybe I am, but it's a good crazy. It's a giving crazy, because For you to pay hourly for me, it would cost over $2,000 to have 17 hours of coaching and training over the weekend. Instead, it's 250. I believe the early enrollment is done at this point. I'm not sure, but check it out. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com and check and see. And if you're watching it today and you really want to be a part of it, then you need to act now. You need to do it. I was going to say, we're going to give one away. We're going to give one seat away. So you need to text me at 407-373-5959. It is virtual, so you could be anywhere around the world. We've had people from all over the world take this course, and it is such an honor to facilitate it. But we're going to give one seat away. Could it be you? 407-373-5959. Will you pick up your mat and text? Will you pick up your mat and call that person that you've been wanting to call? Will you pick up your mat and change the way you've been eating so that you can get better? Will you pick up your mat and embrace your past as a treasure, something to give you passion as opposed to poisoning your body? It is an opportunity to, for less than 2 hours of coaching, be able to experience a full weekend of loving yourself in a different way, and in a way that you understand that what I've done in the past may not work as well as when I am in the moment or present. And maybe, yeah, I forgave and I dealt with it. I've moved on. I've heard all those things before. But the moment you start thinking about it, you get that pit in your heart or that stomach, like, maybe you dealt with it back then. You're absolutely right. You dealt with it back then, but you're not the same person. Sometimes you need to peel those layers and see what else is left in there. Like the artichoke. If you peel the layers of the artichoke, you get to the heart. And that is where most disease start. It starts in the heart, something that's planted there. And remember, the same cell that created your brain, created your heart, created your gut. That's the same cell. So they're all in alignment with one another. And even if your life is perfect and you feel that everything you're doing is great, it's still good to go back and experience your life and past issues. Maybe there is something in there that could improve upon. Maybe you can improve upon your life. Maybe it's not changing anything from the past or learning anything about yourself from the past, but maybe figuring out how to create that job opportunity, figuring out how to handle children that aren't always at their best, like we were when we were kids. How to deal with situations day in, day out, especially when they poke you in the eye. When they poke you in the eye and they go, woo, woo, woo. Oh yeah, you think you're evolved? Let me poke you in the eye so that you can see how not evolved you are. So this opportunity, and I'm just excited to share this with you, that we're going to, from day one, we're going to learn how the brain works and how to work with the brain, how to rewrite the program. That's day one. It's the brain rewriting the program and setting yourself to be open for the rest of the weekend. And then on Saturday, we talk about and we learn about our attitudes, about the higher power, our higher power, how higher power, our higher power. There you go. Try to say that 3 times. And that higher power for you may not be God or Jesus. It may be a different thing, but it is a higher power. It may be Buddha. It may be some, Allah. It's not up to me to decide who that higher power is for you, but what your relationship with that higher power is. And then on the last day, we put it all together. We put it all together, which is the solution aspect of it. It's the picking up our mat. How do we take our life experiences and turn them into a blessing? Even if that blessing was originally gifted to you in ugly wrapping paper, we find the beauty in the collateral damage. We make it collateral beauty. I love that movie, by the way. It's hard to watch at times, but the ending is just so beautiful. Because even in our tragedy, even in the darkest of times in our life, this is where we shine the brightest. If you look at it, that situation, with a new set of eyes, with compassion and love and self-care, when you look at a situation in a way that you go, this didn't happen to me, it happened for me. So what are the gifts and lessons that I need to extrapolate? And this weekend, March 17th, 18th, and 19th, Eastern time, all the times are Eastern time, so go check it out at whenyouneedafriend.com. All those times, all that time that we come together, it's meant for you to see the beauty. Well, I don't want to see the beauty in it. I don't want to see the beauty in molestation. I don't want to see the beauty in losing a child. I don't want to see the beauty in bankruptcy or a divorce. I don't want to see the beauty in any of that. Well, then you can stay stuck. If you don't want to see the beauty and you want to live in your misery, you could do that. You're in choice. Every decision you make is a choice. You choose towards healing or you choose towards disease. Because I'm telling you right now that 99% of all diseases start with some form of a belief or trauma or situation that we made up was bad or wasn't the best. So I'm going to tell you about two little situations for me that help me today as a coach or as a human being be able to translate and rewrite the program. And the more you rewrite the reprogramming that I had as a child. Now, I will tell you that my parents were my greatest teachers. And most people think, oh, you had the most perfect childhood. No, not really. Sometimes I can look at it as the perfect childhood, or I can look at it as it was like everybody else's childhood. Our parents did the best they could with what they had, just like I am doing the best that I can with what I have. But when I was a kid, two things happened to me. I'm not going to go into the whole detail, but at the age of 7, my second grade teacher told me, Lily, if you continue to daydream and look out the window, you will never amount to anything. Well, this is a short version of the story. You'll hear it in the weekend. And then the second thing that happened to me, I was about 8 or 9 years old. My paternal grandmother said to me, Lily, I hear that, because we were all entertainers when we were little, we would entertain and we would play the piano, but it's a long story. But something happened to me that I decided that I did not want to learn how to play the piano. If you want to learn the story, come join us on March 17th through 19th. And I decided I did not want to learn how to play the piano anymore. So my mom had mentioned it to my paternal grandmother. And before she left for that day, she said, Lily, I heard that you don't want to learn how to play the piano anymore. And I said, yeah, well, I don't want to learn how to play the piano anymore. I don't like it. And she said, well, Lily, if you stop learning how to play the piano, I will stop loving you. I remember telling my dad this story many, many years ago. I was just sharing it as like I share it now, as a learning tool, as a tool to kind of dissect and kind of get past it, right? My dad almost cried when he heard that my grandmother had done that, but it's okay. I know that in both cases, Mr. Torres, who is the only teacher I remember his name, and my grandmother, they meant well. They didn't set out to like destroy me and go, I'll show her, she's going to be a lousy, good for nothing, unlovable human being. They didn't do that. They were also doing the best they could with what they had. But I know that now. But what I didn't know when I started doing my personal development is that I took that good for nothing, unlovable little girl with me in every situation. And it didn't matter how successful I was. It wasn't enough. And it didn't matter how much love I experienced. I thought I was a fraud, and they would find out that I was unlovable. That was the first part of my life. I didn't know that that was my underlying conversation. That was the conversation in my head that happened through everything I saw. That was the filter by which I measured my life. Two innocent little conversations between the ages of 7 and 9 that ruled my life without even knowing. It took going back and visiting that belief. It took visiting that belief to be able to go, is that true? Am I unlovable? Is it true? Am I a good for nothing? It didn't matter what I did. It wasn't enough. I had to do more. I had to get more affirmations or accolades. I had to get more recognition. But all the time thinking I was a fraud because I wasn't meant to do great things or to be loved. That's what I made up about it. It wasn't what they said as much as what I made up about it. These things rule us. And if you've had an abusive parent, like I don't ever would say my parents were abusive in a way that some parents were abusive, where they would say, you're no good, you're lousy. You actually really meant it because they saw in their children who they were or what they believed in themselves. I love this one. Like a parent said to me, well, if I don't tell them the truth, who will? Is that the truth? Was that really the truth? That I was a lousy, amount to nothing, unlovable person? No, it wasn't. And it still isn't. But it took me rewriting that story that goes through my brain over and over again. And we'll talk about the brain and how the brain works, all those things. We will learn so much about our body and how the body responds. But if 99% starts with that, then let's look at the other side of disease with the heart. If it starts with 99% starts in the heart, and I'm not talking about a heart attack or anything, I'm talking about a belief, a trauma, a situation, or what we made up about it. If 99%, then only 1% is due to our genes. Yeah, we can eat well, we can do all those things. That's great. But that's not the end all be all. And yeah, we can do all personal growth and get really evolved and enlightened and all those things. But if you eat like a pig, or if you eat like you don't care of what you put in your body, you eat frankenfoods, and eventually your body's going to go, I don't recognize this as food. If you don't drink enough water, if you don't rest well, if you don't breathe properly, those are all things that we're not taught. We're not taught. My parents didn't teach me. They showed me. And I learned how to behave through them. I learned how to think through them. But guess what? I'm not a child anymore. But who takes over? Who takes over when you feel like you're in a corner? That child takes over. So we deal with the child within us. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience, a wonderful weekend of falling in love with the truth of you. And so you have an opportunity. So you're watching this video for a reason. I cannot believe that you're watching this video just to help somebody else. Because that's what I thought. Every book I ever read was on personal growth. Prior to becoming a coach, I would say 85 to 90% of every book I read, with the exception of the Left Behind series. I read every single one of those. And although indirectly, it could make you think about what could happen in the future, but that was not the Bible, or that was not a personal growth book, or that was not, it was just somebody else's interpretation of what the book of Revelation was going to be like, or the end of times is like. But when I read those books back then, they were to help others, not me. My life was good. Hey, everything was good. And really, beautiful husband, beautiful life, beautiful children, beautiful job. It wasn't, because there was this tiny little hole in my heart. And when I wasn't on and doing something, or I could hear a little breeze, a little whistle going through that heart, through the hole in my heart. I don't know why I visualized it like that, but when I was alone, no one around, alone, not in my computer, I mean, nothing, just alone, going to the bathroom, or alone in my home, there's no music on, there's nothing to distract me. I knew that there was like a tiny little hole in my soul. But as I entered into my 40th year, and my son graduated from high school, and now what am I? I'm not a mommy anymore. My kids don't need my advice. And in fact, they even told me they didn't need my advice. I just didn't know who I was anymore. I wasn't a stay-at-home mom anymore, because of the economy, I was forced to do more different than just being in the home. And I value being in the home with children. I totally do believe in that. But as our last child graduated, I needed to reinvent myself and help provide for the family, because we were greatly affected by the housing crisis. So who am I? What am I doing here? That was the start of me really helping me, changing me. Because there's a lot of times that I coach people, and I can totally relate to this. They'd say, I want to change my husband, or I want to change my kids. And oh, I want to change my neighbor. I want to change my boss. And I go, well, I'm glad you're here, so we can work with you. I will work with whoever shows up. And right now it's you. Let's work on you. And let me tell you, when you change, the world changes. Why? Because your perception of the world changes. It is so beautiful on how that happens. And I want to encourage you to be curious about, could my life be different? Could I create something new and different at the age of 50? At the age of 60, heck, I'm going to be 60 this year. And every time I do a workshop, every time we come together, I grow too. You guys teach me, and I teach you. We're all students, we're all teachers. So if the I am is the God in us, what is the solution? Because if God is in me, and I just had a speck of the power of God, I can do all things. What can't I do? I can do all things. Because that's where my strength comes from. That's what we learn in the weekend. We learn so much in the weekend, and we learn from each other. We learn how to see tragedy, devastation, and we turn it into a different story in our head, a story that doesn't poison us anymore. There was a quote that I heard Wayne Dyer say many years ago, and he stole it from somebody. I can't remember who he stole it from or quoted it from, because he would always kind of forget. "Oh, I don't remember who I heard this from," but now I'm honest. I heard it from him, Wayne Dyer. And he said, "It is not the snake that kills you, the snake bite that kills you. It's the venom that runs through your blood." What venom is flowing through your blood right now? Somebody do you wrong? Did someone lie to you? Did someone cheat you? Did you lose a child? Did you lose a spouse? Whether it's divorce or death, I'm just talking about the loss process. Did you lose your career? Did you get falsely accused? Are you an addict? Have you, whether it's whatever addiction, because addictions are addictions are addictions. Are you lying to yourself about something you don't want to look at anymore? Are you living a double life? Or is your life just perfect and you just want to improve upon it? Every time, every day, we get to show up at our best. And what is that? I remember when my little girl, Brittany, was about 1.5, 2 years old. Actually, she was 1.5. I belonged to this co-op. It was the parents and it was part of the college. And we would all come together and we would teach our children, and we had a group of parents, and we would do our lesson plans, and it was in line with the school. And then on Tuesday nights, we would come together as students ourselves, and we would learn from experts. And it was a course, it was a parenting classes basically that also had a co-op attached to it. And I remember the speaker, I don't know her name. I just remember she gave us a test. And so she said, okay, you need to take this test and you need to interview different people, and you put their name down, and if you see this attribute, and you go there and then you interview and you figure out. Anyway, she just gave us brief instructions. But I kept going back to her. Well, can we interview the same person? Can we do this? Can we do that? And then she gave me what I needed to know, and I started my tasks. Out of 40 parents that I believe we had at the time, 40 parents that taught at the co-op, only a handful of people finished the test. And I was one of them. And so when she began her conversation, or her process, her second part of what she was going to teach us, she asked how many people finished it and how many people didn't finish it. And then when she got to the people who completed it completely, completed it all, I raised my hand, and maybe 5 other people. And she said, look around at these people. These are the people that get things done, but they're also perfectionists. Perfectionist? I'm not a perfectionist, I said out loud, not in my head. I don't do anything right. And she looked at me and she said, exactly. That's what makes you a perfectionist. I just sat there and I went, whoa, I never thought of myself as a perfectionist. And then I began my journey at how do I stop that? How do I stop that? It wasn't until I did my own personal growth. And I would say 46, 47 years old is when I really felt that pull that I need to stop being about fixing other people. I need to be about embracing who I am, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I needed to go to a place that nobody knew my name. Nobody knew I had a show. Nobody knew that I was so active in my church and helped it, all these things. I wanted to go to a place where nobody knew my name. And the next thing you know, somebody called me up and invited me to go on a retreat. And before she completed her sentence, I said yes. And she goes, oh, what? She thought I'd be a really hard sell. What she didn't know is that I was going through my preparation to say yes. Are you going through things in your life that is churning you to say yes? And when your yes is greater than your fear, that's when the magic happens. That is when everything falls into place. That's when the planets align. That's when when I say planets, your brain, your heart, your gut, they start going, yay, we can be in alignment. What? Yes, that's how your organs talk. But I want to encourage you to be curious about that instead of critical. And if you're believing right now, I'm too old for this. When I went through personal growth, I went through it with a 16-year-old boy and up to an 80-year-old woman, everywhere in between. And I was somewhere in the middle. And you know what? I learned something from every single one of them. It was beautiful. It was the first time in my life that I allowed me to go through. I took off the mask and I was able to be who God created me to be. It wasn't that I was not genuine. I was very genuine. I've always been genuine. But within my fears, my parameters of being found out to be a fraud, remember, good for nothing, unlovable person. I protected that because I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to look at it. It wasn't until I said, I really am done. I'm done. I just want to be me. And it took 47 years. But it's okay. Because if I wouldn't have done it, then it would have taken longer. Like people say to me all the time, oh, I'm too old to go to college. It's going to take 5 years before I get my degree. And you know what I tell them? So in 5 years, you'll have a degree or you won't have a degree. 5 years are going to happen no matter what. What do you choose? See, sometimes it's simple, but you just need someone to wake up your belief system. Like, have you ever started your car and it went wing, 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 wing? Yeah, that's my car. An imitation. The battery doesn't, it just turns over and nothing happens. Have you ever experienced that? Unfortunately, I have. But when you get that jump from somebody else's battery, and there will be other people joining as well, and we will all be getting jolts from each other's batteries, it is a powerful weekend. It's a weekend of laughter, a weekend of tears, a weekend of self-discovery, a weekend of bonding and meeting people that you would have never thought you'd be friends with or that you would have anything in common with. Anyway, so what is the solution? Well, before I tell you about what the solution is, I want to tell you that I want you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. While you're there, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, then you know who's going to be in the classroom, at what time, and you'll have all their contact information. And if they have a book, it links you right to Amazon. It's just a place where you can, just a resource place. But if you are a subscriber, then you know who is on before anybody else. You also get discounts, whether it's through coaching or in the website. There's just so many different ways that you will discover that you can be part of the solution in your life instead of waiting like the paralytic man. So go to whenyouneedafriend.com, subscribe if you haven't, and also please go to all my social media. It's all in my website, whenyouneedafriend.com. You can click Facebook, click YouTube, click BitChute, Odyssey, all the podcasts. that you can go there to, Facebook, and subscribe and share with all your friends, because I was focused on the algorithms. There was a time of like, oh, these algorithms are killing me. No, we're going to learn how to rewrite the story we tell ourselves too. We're part of the 99%, guys. We can, through liking and sharing, override the algorithms. Yes, that's what I want. So help me with that. And while you're there, check out my sponsors. Support my sponsors the way that they're supporting the classroom. And check out my Shop Now bag. All the different things that we have in the classroom, like, for example, I love this, that we did the I Am the Solution, no, actually, New Truth series, Book of Revelation, and the 100 Lessons from the Exodus. They're on DVD and online. And so I want to encourage you to go there and purchase it, or give one as a gift, or whatever it is that you want to do. We also have the workshop pretty soon. We'll have the Super Gut with Dr. William Davis. So stay tuned. He'll be on next week. And we'll be talking about the Super Gut 6-week course to improve your gut and add some of the good bacteria to help you think even better. So much we don't know, So please check out all the information in the Shop Now bag. And you might get, some discounts, beauty products, from beauty products to I can't show you my muscles today, but with 2 pounds, you can build muscle. And with the B3 bands, there's just so much. And all the lessons that we learned along the way, including the M-Cube detox experience, so please check that out too. If you've been having some symptoms and everybody tells you, oh, it's all in your head. Well, it may be part of your trauma, but all of that causes our genes to express a certain way that may not be measurable through allopathic means. So check out the M-Cube detox experience as well. So much to learn. And last but not least, you can become an enrolled student in the classroom. And that means you can donate $1 or $1,000 a month, one-time donation or reoccurring donation, whatever it is, time, talent, treasure, anything you can give to the classroom will help. So thank you so much. Everything would be appreciated. So I said this whole course is about, today's class is about becoming the solution. So what is the solution? What is the acronym solution? We already know that the I am is the God in us, but what is the solution? The solution are different actions that you will learn on Sunday and how to be. Just Tuesday, I interviewed Treva, and she was talking about, being single and some of the steps of being single. And it doesn't matter what age you are, you can be part of finding love at any age of your life. And you can also find different ways of viewing things and seeing things and embracing things in your life. So it doesn't matter how old you are or what the circumstances are, there's always an opportunity to grow. There's always an opportunity to do something different and new. So with that in mind, what is the solution? What is the acronym? So we go into this with a lot of detail, but I'm just going to give you a little insight, because most people don't know what solution is unless they take the course. But I'm just going to give you the gist of it, okay? So S is for shifting. Those thoughts need to be shifted. O is organized. L is learn and love. Those are 2 L's that are important. U, urgent. Life is urgent. T is thoughts and trust, the thoughts in our head and how to trust the process in our life. That's very important too. Then I is being invitation. You see, I'm inviting you, whether you come or go, not come. That's up to you. But be invitation, being invitation. And we dive into every single one of these so that you start putting into practice in your life. So it's either invitation or intuition. So there's two I's and two L's, and two T's, actually. And then O is opportunity. Everything is an opportunity to grow. Everything. And then the last is N is for needs. So S is shift, O is organize, L is learn and love, U is urgent, life is urgent, T is thoughts and trusting the process, I is invitation and intuition, O is opportunity, and N is needs. We all have needs, and we're going to dive into that on the third day. I've never shared this before in the classroom, but I want you to know that the I am, I say this a lot, the I am is the God in us. True. But solution, everybody's like, well, what's the solution? It's just, yeah, I'm a solution. It's the picking up your mat. It's what we get to do to live the life that we were gifted. This life is a gift. What are we doing with this gift? Have you ever been given a gift and you're like, ah, I have many times. And you have to go, oh, I love it. Thank you. Right? That's what we get to learn to do. Because first we think it, then we feel it, then we act upon it. So if you feel your life is crap, you're thinking everything is crap. You'll start feeling like everything is crap. Not good, not good. And then you'll say, why bother? Life is crap. Oh, when I say that, I have to bring my little friend out. So yes, it could be, or life is absolutely phenomenal. And everything that is in my life has a treasure in it to be unfolded. It's just like when you are given an envelope and you get to say who the winner is, and you open it up and it says, and the winner is, put in whatever you want to say after that. And the winner is you. When you open that envelope, you learn new truths. Until you're ready to learn new truths, you will stay where you're at. Unless you're willing to be curious about what else is out there, instead of critical of, I can't believe she wants me to go to this workshop. I'm much better than her. That's okay. You might be. But when you're saying those things, you keep yourself from being part of the solution. Becoming the solution is rolling up your sleeves and going, you know what? I'm going to learn something different and new. I am going to see it. I want to see if I'm living my best life. Am I living my best life, or am I putting that mask on my face every morning before I leave to work or school or see my kids or visit my parents? Do we have that mask? I remember the first time I felt free of all the expectations I felt people had of me. It was really the expectations I had of me that I just didn't know what to do because of my limitations. But once I learned that it's none of my business what people think of me, once I learned that, it was a totally different life for me. And rewriting the program. So yeah, I have days that are really tough. I just buried a family member. It's tough to lose someone. It's tough to be in a situation where you find yourself in disbelief. How did this happen? And we can get stuck in the sorrow. We can get stuck in the pain, and we can get stuck and sucked in. But when you are willing to say, wait a minute, can I get out of this? How can I get out of this? Maybe I need some help. Maybe I don't need help. Maybe I just need to do a workshop. Maybe I don't need coaching for, 10 years or 30 years. Maybe I just need to see that there is so much power in me that is untapped. I didn't even know I had. And that's when you start becoming part of the solution and realizing, wow, there's more to the story. I thought it was to make me small, but in fact, the story makes me strong. It makes me relatable. It makes me triumphant. It makes me feel good about myself instead of relying on someone to feel good about me or making me feel better about myself or asking your partner to make you feel happy or asking your boss to make you feel like you deserve, a better job or a better role, a better whatever it is. What if none of the exterior people in your life matter when it comes to your happiness? Yes, it is wonderful to have beautiful people surrounding you, but are they required to find the value of you? No, they're not. Does it make life easier? Yes. But here's the thing. There are people who lift us up that make our life easier. And there are people who poke us in the eye and try to drag us down. And when I say poking in the eye this time, I mean want us to feel horrible about ourselves. You know that there are people like that. There are people like that. But just like I say, having the positive people shouldn't matter to your happiness. Having the negative people shouldn't matter to your happiness either. You see, when you take ownership of your life and you start working on yourself, now you can control change. But expecting somebody to change, I just had this conversation with Treva, like expectations. You should never have expectations, I heard people say. I don't believe that for one reason. I believe you should have expectations of yourself and work within your expectations and be excited, because when you have high expectations, then you create whatever it is that you're going to be doing. But don't be married to the outcome. Like if it changes, don't be, oh, I can't believe my life sucks. No, the attitude sucks. That's what sucks. What I'm saying is that, yes, have high expectations of yourself, but don't be married to the outcome, because within my expectation of greatness, of making something great, it may have a different look or feel than what I even thought it could be. So not being married to the outcome is a great gift. Second, expectations of others. That is not good. That is not good. When you expect others, then yeah, you're bound to be disappointed, because you can't control that. You can only change yourself. You cannot change what somebody else does. So if you come to me because you want to be coached and you want to fix your husband or your family member or an aunt or an uncle, I can only help you. Again, I'll say it again. Whoever shows up, that's who we work with. So, what is keeping you from the life you want? Is there anything keeping you from the life you want? Do you have the perfect life, but there's still that tiny little hole in your soul that when you're by yourself, it just goes, it's just like you hear this little blow, like a little wind blowing through. But let me tell you, I ignored that hole for a long time until it became like big. And it was like, I could hear it go, whoo, like a hurricane could go through it. But that's when I did actually do something about it. So where are you? Put your hand over your heart, close your eyes, breathe through your diaphragm. We'll all learn all those things during the workshop. And ask yourself, what's keeping me from the life I want? Who or what? What is the story or circumstance that is driving my life today? You know, I work with a lot of people, and people will tell me about an abusive parent that died many years ago, or a spouse that they divorced many years ago, but they're still allowing that abuse to happen every day through the thoughts they think. So, who and what? And that's the story or circumstance in your head that is driving your life today. Only you can answer those questions. Only you. And then finally, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do to take your life back, to become part of the solution, be part of the solution? I am the solution. What are you willing to do it? So the I Am the Solution virtual weekend workshop is March 17th through 19th. On Friday, we meet at 6 p.m. Eastern time to about 9 or 10. On Saturday and Sunday, we meet at noon Eastern time, and we finish around 6 or 7 p.m. Now, keep in mind that space is limited. In order for me to do what I do, I must process people. So you're getting a full on coaching during the weekend. And so space is limited. We are giving one seat away. If the conversation in your head is, I can't afford it, this is too expensive, go check out the price at whenyouneedafriend.com and you'll find out that it is less than 2 hours of coaching. 17 hours. You get 17 hours of coaching for less than 2 hours. So if that's the conversation in your head, text me at 407-373-5959. That's 407-373-5959. If you are listening via podcast, BitChute, Odyssey, Facebook, YouTube, on my website, Telegram, you can only hear Telegram live. But you can text me via Telegram, 407-373-5959, and say, I am available those days, and I would like a seat in the I Am the Solution workshop. And I will pick, so today is Thursday, so I will wait till next week. How about if I wait till the following Monday, which if I look at the following Monday, since I am doing this on the spot, so it's the week before the workshop. So it's the week before the workshop would be Monday, the 13th. So Monday, March 13th, I will pick the winner. So I want to encourage you to text 407-373-5959. If you're watching this and you don't do texting, you can email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. It's time to take our health back. It's time to take our life back. It's amazing. It's amazing how when you start taking your life back, let's see, if you are driving your car, but instead you're in the driver's seat, but instead you give the power away to everybody in the car, and you're just sitting in the driver's seat, but you're just waiting for everybody else to drive the car. But the car's moving, but you're waiting for them to do it, because life moves. We're always constantly moving. How long will it be before your journey becomes chaotic, full of fear, and frustrating? You can't control how others act or feel. You can't control any of that. All you can do is change you. And during the weekend, the I Am the Solution Weekend Workshop, we learn that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Yep. That is a quote from Max Planck. You will learn so much about yourself, and you're going to be okay with it. You're going to embrace yourself as you are. And then you'll have an opportunity to continue small group coaching. And that's something we talk about in the weekend workshop. There's so much we don't know about what runs our car. What is running our car? What is driving our car? Who is driving our car? Is it a dead person that's still torturing you? Is it your ex that is still bugging you? Is it that you want to make sure that everybody does things the way you want it to be done? What is it that you need to give up in order to have happiness? Is it control? How is control working for you? Control is an illusion, by the way. It's all an illusion. And you get to reframe it, reformat it. I was trying to come up with two words at once: reformat it and reframe it. Reformat. That's what it was coming out to be. But you are the only one that can change it. And like the great philosopher Meatloaf said, I would do anything for love, right? But I won't do that. That's the thing. That's the thing that always gets me in that song. But love can be save my marriage. It could be save my job. It could be save my life. It could be change my life. It could be work with my children. It could be anything. I would do anything for blank. What is that thing that you would do anything for? Again, Meatloaf would say, but I won't do that. Well, I'm not asking you what you won't do. I'm asking you what you will do. What are you willing to do to take your life back? May I suggest something? May I suggest the I Am the Solution Weekend Workshop, virtual weekend workshop, March 17th through 19th, 2023. Giving away one seat. Text me right away. Register today. Space is limited. And we already have people that are in their seat ready to get started. You can email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com, or you can text me at 407-373-5959. Check out the website. The pop-up comes up. Check out if you're one of the people that needs to have more information. There's videos, there's information that you can find with the pop-up once you go to whenyouneedafriend.com. There's so much we can do. There's so much we can do to create the life of our dreams. Now you get to answer the question. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to take your car and drive it and say to the passengers, hey, let's enjoy the ride and see something totally different and new, change your life, change your perspective, and maybe even find a new greatness level in your life. And please remember, if you have any questions, text me, call me, whatever. Please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert